Hey guys, so you had all said that you wanted me to do an audiobook of my book, so yeah, I'll be doing it as an audiobook. I am hoping to get recording equipment, so maybe I can do a more professional version, but this is what we have for now. So my book is called To the Other Side, and it is original and by me. To the Other Side. The end of the world didn't happen quickly. It wasn't silent either. It came slowly, with screams, one by one. December 6th, Monday, 12:35 p.m. High school sucks. I mean, it really sucks. The people there are assholes, the food tastes like microwave garbage, and the workload is enough to bury you alive. The only reason I haven't dropped out is because my friends are here, and honestly, I could see them outside of school, so what the hell am I even doing here? But I guess you didn't pick up the story just to hear me whine about high school life, so I'll get to the interesting part. I first noticed the rips 2 weeks ago. At first, they looked like little cracks in the world, like someone had taken a razor blade to the air. Then slowly, gradually, they just widened into holes. Not normal holes. They were like voids, just empty, floating black patches in reality. I didn't dare go near them, because like any sane person would, you don't just walk up to some random black hole in the middle of the street and poke it. You might be thinking, wouldn't people notice holes in the world? Nope. No one did. It was like I was the only one who could see them. Now please don't think I'm crazy. I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you did. But these weren't hallucinations. They were real. Are they portals? Gateways? Or maybe they're just... Mr. Foster, could you please pay attention? My head snapped up at the sound of my name. Yes, sorry, sir, I mumbled, looking back down at my notebook. I sure hope those are notes, not just nonsense, Dr. Martin says, wagging a finger at me. Yes, sir, I repeated, forcing my best I'm a good student face. He turned back to the whiteboard and resumed his lecture. I went back to ignoring him, sketching in my notebook until the bell finally rang. I tried to pull the classic blend into the crowd trick and slip out unnoticed. We all know how that usually goes. Mr. Foster, could I speak with you for a moment? Not a question. A command, wrapped in a polite package. I turned around, forcing myself back into the classroom. Dr. Martin leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. I'm worried about your grades, Max, he said, in the concerned teacher voice that they must teach at teacher school. Yeah, most teachers tell me that, I repeat, running my hand through my hair. God, I needed a haircut. I'm serious. This is high school. You need to pull it together. I've heard this a million times. You're in high school, Max. Time to get serious. Trust me. I know I'm in high school. I just don't care. I muttered something vague about trying harder, and eventually he let me go. When I got to our lunch spot, Allie was already there, backpack exploded. Lunch spot was in a forgotten hallway. Lockers and flickering lights gave it a whole creepy, haunted vibe. I think that's why we liked it. We were the weird kids, at least by school standards. But really, we were just a bunch of nerds and miscreants that didn't really fit in anywhere else. We kept to ourselves and got picked on a lot, but it didn't matter. We had each other. Tell me, raw actual food, Allie said. Only despair and cafeteria mac and cheese, I said, sitting next to her. The flavor of broken dreams. Noah showed up, typing on his laptop. How many tabs open this time? 22, don't judge. I will when it melts. Finn arrived next, plopping down beside me. Rough class? Martin thinks I'm failing at life. Well, he's not wrong, he said, ruffling my hair. Rude, but accurate. I let my head fall back against the wall with a groan. How many more years of high school do we have left, I asked. Only one, Noah replied without looking up from his laptop. He always had that thing open, probably running 10 lines of code at once. High school's gonna suck when you leave, I muttered, resting my head on his shoulder. It's only gonna be a year, Max, he said, chuckling softly. Yeah, well, that year's gonna suck, I replied. He ran a hand through my hair. I looked around at the rest of the group as they filed into our lunch spot. Dory was trying to explain something from her book to Dahlia, who looked like she was 2 seconds away from her brain breaking. Noah was showing Ellie some kind of colorful matrix, probably something only the two of them could decode. They basically shared a brain, which was honestly kind of terrifying. Kaya and Astrid were arguing again, this time about something stupid like the pronunciation of vase. They were always bickering, but never in a mean way. Across from them, Aiden and Danny were laughing about Danny's ridiculous new electric scooter. His parents wouldn't let him have a car, so they got him an over-the-top scooter instead. B, Ellie's twin, sat nearby doodling in a sketchbook. Like B, Ellie was artistic, but leaned into the more arts and crafts and creative projects than technical stuff. Hey, does anyone have any notes from Miss Jare's class? I had no idea there was a test next Thursday, Allie asked. Yeah, I think I've got the notes, Ellie said. I'll trade you for the tech rehearsal schedule. Allie groaned, but agreed, digging into her planner. Fine, but you're on mic duty next week. I accept my fate, Ellie said, with a dramatic sigh, handing over the notes. Most of us did the theater in our school, either stage or tech. Finn, Dahlia, Aiden, Astrid, and I always acted in the shows, while Danny, Ellie, Kai, and Allie, and sometimes B, handled the technical stuff. We were sort of like the theater mafia. I can't wait for the weekend, B muttered, cracking their knuckles and stretching. There were a few muttered agrees before everyone back to what they were doing. Hey Max, you walk to school, right? Aiden asked, striking up conversation, turning towards me. Yeah, why? Well, on the way here I saw these, he hesitated, clearly unsure how to explain. Rips? I offered. He blinked. Yeah, black holes just, floating there. That got everyone's attention. I saw them on my run this morning, too, Astrid said. A weird silence fell over us. Wait, I asked slowly. Has everyone seen them? Everybody nodded. Ellie and I told our mom, B said, but she couldn't see them either. Thought we were messing with her. Then you guys are gonna want to see this, Danny said, standing up. We followed Danny outside through the side door near the gym, the cold hitting us like a slap in the face. The courtyard was quiet, too quiet. Every sound of our footsteps felt muffled under the thin dusting of snow. The melting of handrails glittered with frost, and our breath came out in clouds as we walked. No one said anything as we crossed the lot. Even the usual chatter from Kai and Astrid had stopped. We were all just staring at the far end of the basketball court. And there it was, a rip. It floated under the hoop as if hanging in midair by an invisible thread. A vertical slash in the world, not flickering or pulsing, just present. It wasn't dark like a shadow. It was darker than that. An absence, a scar in space itself. We stopped a few feet away from it, forming in a hesitant half-circle. It just looks wrong, B muttered. Like it shouldn't exist. Because it shouldn't, Ellie replied, fixed on it. Have you guys ever seen one this close, Danny asked. No, I said, but they're definitely smaller usually. This one just feels off, Finn added. It's bigger, like a doorway. The air around us felt different, not just cold, still, like the atmosphere was holding its breath. I stepped forward. Max, Finn warned, grabbing my sleeve. Don't do something stupid. I'm not. I just need a closer look. I took 2 more steps and crouched a little to peer on it head on. It didn't reflect, not us, not the light, not the pole nearby, not even the snow beneath it. It was like someone had cut a hole in a photograph and left behind nothing but a void. Then the wind shifted. A sharp hiss filled the air, like steam escaping a crack. Do you hear that? Dahlia whispered. Yeah, Aiden said, a shiver running down his back, making him jolt slightly. A shimmer moved across the surface, subtle, like heat distortion, and then eyes, red, watching, and a grin, too wide, filled with too many teeth. Everyone jumped back at once. A clawed hand shot out fast as lightning. It grabbed my arm. Pain exploded, cold like metal and sharp like broken glass. Finn tackled me backwards as the other screamed. I hit the ground hard, the impact knocking the breath from my lungs. The rip pulsed once, and then it was still. Blood dripped from my arm into the snow. Everything tilted. I could hear Phil yelling my name, but his voice seemed far away. The pain was sharp, but the fear, that was worse. Max, are you okay? Dory asked, her voice floating in and out. Yeah, I'm fine. Why? I said, pushing myself up shakily. You look a little... She started, but I didn't hear the rest. My vision blurred. Whoa, hey, okay, I've got you, Finn said, catching me as I collapsed. The red splattered across the white snow. It felt unreal. Distantly, I could hear my friends shouting, just a dull hum behind the ringing of my ears. Teachers must have heard the noise because one came outside, squinting at us. What is all this commotion? She asked, walking towards us. Allie pointed down towards the hole, but the teacher didn't seem to see it. Max is hurt, Finn said urgently, holding me up. The teacher looked at where Allie was pointing and then at me. I don't know what kind of game this is, but you need to stop and get back inside before someone actually gets hurt, she snapped. But his arm, Finn began. Inside! Now! All of you, she ordered, cutting him off, already turning away. Finn helped me back up inside, guiding me to our hallway spot. I slumped against the wall, and he pulled out a first aid kit. He always carried one around with him. With how often we would get into fights, or got dragged into them, someone usually needed patching up. Okay, so these holes, and anything that comes out of them must only be visible to certain people, Noah said, thinking out loud. That's why she couldn't see the blood or the cuts, Ellie asked, realization dawning. And then what the hell was that thing? Bea asked. I don't know, Ellie said. It looked like a shadow with eyes and teeth? Well, something tells me that that's not going to be the last time we're going to see them, I added quietly. Everyone was silent, but everybody agreed. So that was the end of chapter 1. I know this was kind of long. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll get back to chapter 2 if you all like this one.